Hey, what's happening, people out there? We'd like to welcome you to 60 Fit Club podcast. Today, we're going to come at you with some knowledgeable stuff that will assist everyone. It's all about muscle after 60. And Mike and I both can testify to all of that. And we're just going to give you why strength is the foundation of youth and just share our experience. And we hope you guys out there are listening. If you know anyone that's in their 60s, you can share this podcast with them. And we can continue to grow. So, Mike, how's your day going, brother?
My day's going fine, my brother. Everything's going good. Good to see you again. See you working out hard and everything, getting ready for your show, man. I like some of the things that you're doing. I'm putting them into some of my regimen. I like how it takes some of the pressure off of some of your joints. But with that being said, today, man, we're going to talk about why is it so important, man, for us to be healthy and fit at 60 plus. And what do we need to do to continue to do that? So, why build a muscle, Rob, after age 60?
Well,
it's so important.
Yeah, I think that is critical. What people fail to understand is that when we get older, no matter how much muscle we have put on in our early days, we need to continue that because as we get older, things get sick. Something happened to us to where we need to kind of take care of ourselves in a sense. That's getting up out of bed, getting up the get the couch, going to the refrigerator, having to strengthen your legs and stuff like that. I just think it's a survival mode that we should look at a lot more in depth when it comes to physical fitness and realize that it's just not a fad. It's something that we need to focus on, especially if you're in your 40s right now. It's that time that you should start really trying to figure out what I need to do to stay healthy for if things go south.
Yeah, I call it functional fitness. So like as you said, as we get older, man, it's more important. Yeah, we want to look good as well, but if we can't function, like you said, getting out those chairs, getting up off the sofa, man, picking up our kids, lifting groceries, even going up the steps to get in your house, man. Those are the things that we want to be functional on, like you said, starting in your 40s. Really looking at it, man, is very, very important. So with that being said, how often, give us some strength training basics, like how often, how heavy, what to avoid when doing strength training at the age of 60 or above.
Yeah, so basically, as you just stated, Michael, it's all about functional movement and just doing things with dumbbells, maximum 20 pounds, 30 pounds max, especially if you hadn't been in the game for a while, because our joints and stuff is not as healthy as they were. Our bones are a little weaker, and so this type of workouts, I think you should just start with mostly cable stuff, because the cable training will keep constant resistance on your body and it's safe. If you don't have a trainer and you just all of a sudden decide that you want to go and start doing something in the gym, cable work is always the safest. And all of the equipment out there these days now have some type of diagram on the side that kind of give you an idea what the machine is for and how to actually, put it to work in a sense, and just be safe. Don't do the ego lifting, as Mike and I always talk about. There's no need for ego lifting at that point in time. It's all about just strengthening yourself. Those daily workouts will change your life forever.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Like Rob said, those of you that are new to the game, I would always ask you to maybe, if you don't have a trainer, like Rob said, if you have a trainer or anything like that, maybe Google some exercises that you want to work on, so you have a plan of action when you do go to the gym, so you can see it prior to going. Because, like Rob said, starting off with cables, starting off with bands as well. There's nothing wrong with doing your body weight if you haven't been doing anything. For those of us that have been lifting, say people like me and Rob that have been working out, we have dropped the heavy weights, man. We're not going crazy with the heavy weights anymore. It's all about lifting we're not going real light, but we're getting those reps in where it's pushing, challenging the muscles, challenging our system. And when we can still build muscle at our age, people say, oh, you can't build muscle after 60. Well, you're not going to build mass, a bunch of mass, but you can strengthen and build muscles around those joints. You know, all of us,
Yeah.
we're not here to compete. We're not Robert. We're not competing, but we want to be healthier, like Rob stated earlier. If you have an illness, if you have an injury, you want to be able to come back a lot quicker. And if you're a beginner, you know, I say Google a program. If you don't have a trainer, if you just say, hey, you know what, I can't afford a trainer, I can't do this, or look at some of the things that me and Rob do on our sites, because we give a lot of tips and a lot of fundamentals and we show a lot of exercises and movements for beginners, intermediate, and people that are at a higher level. So with that said, Rob, what are some of the main exercises that you would recommend for somebody that's 60? They haven't really been lifting a lot, but they're active. They are active.
Yeah. So there's a difference between active on the outside and active in the gym, I think. Because the last time I want someone to do is go into a gym and just think, oh, that's a dumbbell, I'm supposed to pick it up and curl it like this. And then they end up injuring themselves. And then now you really put yourself in the hole by just starting off wrong. So first I would say, number one, you know, at least try to get a trainer. You know, go ahead and invest in your health and just get a trainer for 1 month, whatever it is, just to give you some knowledge of the equipment. You know, as we've been talking so far, is that it's not about trying to do a bunch of advanced workout. It's about doing something that's going to allow you to just get the blood circulating, get the muscles revived again, and just strengthen yourself to where you're comfortable with lifting 10, 15, 20 pounds. You'll know when the progression starts, because things will start to feel lighter. And I would say number one, Mike, is always start off with the tricep work, because that triceps is used a lot to push ourselves up and down. Do some chest work, do some bicep work, and maybe some, not maybe, but some leg extensions, but just maybe only one exercise where you're just doing double leg extensions and seated leg curls. Do those things. Don't try to jump into bigger machines because they look smooth and they look cool. That's just non-controllable weight coming down on top of you. So keep all weight off your back at this point. Try to do everything that's going to allow you to sit down if you can.
Exactly. I would throw one more in there. Maybe seated squats, where you're just going down to like a chair or a bench, no weights or anything, just coming up, just getting your form together, you know, so you can work. That's your trunk that you'll be pushing up the rest of your life, man, getting up out of those chairs. So basically practice for when you're getting older and you got to get up out of those chairs, because I know sometimes it gets a little tough for us.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure you can kind, you know, just as far as recommendation on a lot of stuff is that what I would tell people, when you go into the gym, most of the time they'll give you a walkthrough, and someone will give you a walkthrough and give you some ideas. So if you can't afford a trainer, at least ask for a walkthrough and just give you some of the basic information. Don't be ashamed to say I don't know, because those trainers are there, whether you're gonna use them as a trainer or not. They take you around through the facility to make sure that you understand all the pieces of equipment. And
exactly.
Mike, yeah.
And you got to remember as well too, you know, everybody was a beginner at one time. And so don't, you know, people, well, you know, I'm intimidated, go over there and get the weights in front of somebody. Everybody was a beginner. Everybody had to go through it. So when you go in there, like Rob said, if you just can't invest in a trainer, do your walkthrough, ask questions, say, hey, you know what, and just be, hey, just if you courteous and polite when you say, excuse me, I'm gonna get these weights. That's all, you know, that's all people ask. If you do that in the gym, nobody's gonna holler at you or snap at you, because everybody in there wants you to be just as fit. Just, you know, they want you working too, you know. So
yeah, I honestly think that when people our age come into the gym and they can tell that you hadn't been working out, they're excited to see you. Exactly. And they want to help you get better, because they realize you're coming in at a point in your life to where clearly I hadn't done this, and you know, I need some help at this. And people be more than happy to help, you know, the elderly as we are when you go inside of those facilities. And I will tell everyone this is that there's also things that you can do at home if you're not comfortable with it. And Mike has already mentioned one, and that's do some sit-ups squats on a chair base. Also, you can get your water jugs, you know, that you have milk in, you put water in them, use those for dumbbell curls. You can use your broom handle as your
Exactly. I
twist.
was just getting ready to say that.
All
Yeah.
all those different things that you can come up with workouts from home and still get your body moving. March in place for say one commercial, sit down. When the next commercial come on, stand up, march in place again. Get that cardio endurance going because circulation is real important. And I think we all believe that motion, lotion is motion. So all those things
Exactly.
working
All in
together.
those
So
joints.
yeah. So you gotta just realize that it's not that you can't go do something. You just gotta choose where you want to do it. And if you need to start at home, once again, start at home and just Michael mentioned earlier, once again, just Google exercises for 60 and over. You'll find
That's
it.
it. That's it.
Absolutely.
Now, Rob, how often should somebody be working out at our stage of the game?
I would say go 3 times a week, full body workouts. That's what I would say. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever, and just do like 2 exercises per body part, just until your body get used to it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
then you can kind of turn it up or turn it down if you feel like.
Yeah.
Now recovery is real important. That's why the whole point of making sure that your body having at least that rest period between each day. And normally the rest periods is longer than just the 24-hour phase, but what you're doing is that you don't want to be doing a lot of hard lifting anyway, so your body will be able to recover within that time. Or if you decide to like really take it to the next level, now you're looking at that 48-hour to 72-hour rest, depending on your recovery time. So full body workouts, I think, would be the best. Just
Exactly.
recover
Starting
for
off
a
like
body
you said,
part.
Rob, full body workouts. Like you said, hit each body part though. Make sure you hit each body part. You go 3 times a week. Now you're getting used to it. Now something that you're doing every day on a regular basis. You might be,
Yes.
you're not only getting that weightlifting in, you're doing a little cardio because you're a little walking, maybe getting that
Yeah.
in. So you have a process where you're being consistent, doing what you're doing, and now you might be at the next phase. We say, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm doing well. I'm pretty acclimated to what I'm doing. Then you can start doing the different things, saying, hey, maybe I can go 4 times a week instead of the
Right.
3 days, and you work upper body twice a week, lower body the other 2 days, and you go
Yeah.
from there. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah. No, I like that idea, especially, just beginners in general. I mean, even people who even have been, say, in the gym in the past, and all of a sudden you decide to go back and it's been a while, I would start with the simplified workouts from that point too. And just,
Exactly.
keep it simple is the best way to stay away from injuries. And at this point in our age, we're not about ego lifting. We're all about just staying healthy. And so invest in yourself, spend some time at the gym or spend some time at home and do these small little things. And all of this stuff is online. So it's not like you can say, I don't know what to do. You can go and just pull up a workout at any point in time or reach out to Mike and I and say you really want to work out for 60 and above or 40 and above or 50 and above, whatever the case may be, depending on your past history of training and stuff, and that we can support you in that way too.
And what a thing I want to ask you too, Rob. Once we get to a certain point and we're doing the dumbbells and everything, when you talk about not lifting heavy weight, what do you recommend, and how do you recommend we get to the point where we say, okay, I got the fives, I've been doing the fives, I'm a beginner and stuff, but now I feel pretty good, I'm pushing and everything. What determines that so that I would know as a beginner, then I need to start, adding, changing my weight?
Sure. So that's a great question, Mike. I would tell all of my classes this is that your first week of training, you start with 5 pounds, go the whole week with 5 pounds.
Mhm.
Because now you're teaching yourself form, which is the most important thing. You're also finding out how fast your recovery is. And you also need to consider food intake. So your energy source is what I'm saying. So the outcome of it all, as Mike was asking, what do we do if we can been doing fives forever? Well, if you can do five pounds 10 times for 3 sets, the next time you should go up. If they have a 7.5, go 7.5. Most gyms don't, but some do. And if not, you go from 5 to 10. And once you can do 10 the full sets, then you can go to the next level. But you don't need to worry about any pyramid schemes or nothing like that. And what we mean by pyramiding is that people who are more advanced will increase their weight as they continue to do their set and decrease the reps.
Right.
So that is not something that you want to do if you're starting out. But you know, it's just another training phase that, you know, people who are in the health field are doing.
But it is important that once you get the, once you get the fives, and you need to move up. Don't stay there, because you still want to challenge that muscle. You're not going to get to the point where, hey, we're lifting 100-pound dumbbells and stuff like that. We just want to be able to push and challenge the muscles and challenge yourself. So we're not doing nothing crazy. We're still going to stay with it. And once we get to a certain weight, we're going to stay there with it. Once we know what we're doing, and we're in that advanced stage. Because when you're in advanced stage, you have a lot more knowledge of what you're doing. You know what your body can take. You know what your rest periods are. You know how you're feeding your body, like Robert said. You know, hey, I fed my body. I got my rest in. I can go back and do that again tomorrow or the next day. So those are the things that, as a beginner and moving into more of a kind of an intermediate or whatever, at that point, now you're starting to transition, but you still want to push yourself, because I see people sometimes, and I know, Rob, you've seen this too, that they get those 10s, and they've been with the 10s for like 2 years, and it's not really doing anything for them, because you got to remember, man, you got to continue to challenge that muscle that's around those joints as you get older. So we're not telling you to do nothing crazy. We're just telling you, hey, you're just gonna go up in increments once you conquer that weight. Once you conquer it and you're comfortable with it, and you're comfortable, because now, like I said, as you go, you're going to progress. You're going to be a beginner. You're going to be an intermediate person, and then you're going to be a person that's been doing it for a while, that has a knowledge, because you've been doing research, been reading, you've been seeing stuff online. And you say, now I'm at this level. I'm not a beginner. I'm not an intermediate anymore. I'm doing other things. My body's changing. You might want to do something else with it, or you want to just stay with it just for functionality. And that's what the main thing we talk about is, because that's what I look at every day. I look at functionality for myself, for my clients. So that's what I do when I train my clients.
Yeah, and to add to all of this lifting, people, you might want to consider adding some stretching in your workout times. At some point, flexibility is just as important as strength, and it's just necessary, because you can be strong and have great balance and all that stuff, but you're too tight to even reach down and touch your toes or tie your shoes.
Exactly.
So just do that, and I would recommend doing some type of slight warm up before you start your workouts, along with some light stretching. That's not a lot of stretching goes on before you train, but afterwards, when those muscles are all warm and loose and ready to go, give yourself like 5 or 10 minutes of doing some ab work, and along with some stretching. And usually you will be able to conquer that tightness and that stiffness. I can share with you out there, due to the fact that Mike and I both got back issues and shoulder issues and all that stuff, arthritis and everything sticks in. It definitely has turned my volume down. Arthritis came into my life, and my volume is turned way down. I'm real focused now on just my stretching, my flexibility, doing early morning wake up twist, the stuff that we used to do in maybe junior high school, and all those things, just loosening the body up just so that I can move around, because I'm waking up with those moments of like, oh my God, please, in 10 minutes, let me be able to put my shoes on. So
you're trying to put that sock on, and
you can't do it, bro. And you just have to walk around and do everything else till your back lighten up on you. Then you can kind of do your thing. Yeah, man. But other than that, man, it's just Mike and I have decided to really turn this podcast up a notch, because we've been getting a lot of requests about different things. So Mike and I have gotten together to put together episodes. And so this episode today was, as you hear, it's about stronger, not older. And it's all about just making sure that you're getting that body to where you can move and still function as though you did when you was in your 30s or whatever. But it's not about getting old, people. We just got to stay strong, and our body will be okay. Our next episode would definitely be about on a nutritional side of things. And it's just going to be, to eat to compete with time. And we're all on time, but if we're not eating right, your body just can't keep up, especially if you're working out now. Your body can't keep up, and then you're going to feel really exhausted. So we're going to throw some stuff at you about that, and we're going to really come at with you with some good stuff. That's been things Mike and I have been sitting around talking about how we're going to upgrade and these are the things we decided to do. And we put lots of time into episodes and things that will give you a 20-minute blast. So we're not, bombarding you with a lot of stuff. But as we say all the time, we're open for comments. Please subscribe, like us, let us know what you think, and then we can always move forward.
And I'm gonna challenge you guys out there. If everybody that follows us online and follows us on 60 Fit Program, as well as our Instagrams and other accounts, just share this with one person and ask them to share it with another person, and then ask them to subscribe. That will build our following. That will also help people that ask questions and have concerns. Sometimes they're scared to ask, but I know some people have hit me up and said, "Hey, you know what, Mike? I watched your podcast and really gave me some education on some of the things that I've been wanting to know, and I was scared to ask." Especially as we get older, sometimes we get shy away. We don't want to ask questions, but this is the best time because, hey, you can extend your life, you can extend your functionality, and you can live a lot healthier life, a lot better life, doing the things that we're recommending and talking about on this podcast. So
absolutely,
like Rob said, we got some episodes that's coming up. That's great. We've been talking about this. We're building the podcast up. So I look forward to it, man. So, with that being said,
with that being said, man, we hope that we've enlightened you on some things that even if you got one thing out of all of this, that will help you succeed in just understanding that we don't have to get old. We just got to stay strong and stay upright. And we will be here for you on these Sundays. We just ask once again is that please subscribe. Please write a comment. If you got any questions, please don't hesitate on that. There's no holds barred in this podcast. But as we stated, we're going to definitely come at you with some direct things that we know will help you because Mike and I both train elderly people. And so these are some insights that we both believe will help you out.
Exactly. So
other than that, we're going to say peace out to you guys. Once again, I'm going to tell you, please subscribe. Let us know what's going on, and we'll move up the ladder and bring more and more details. Yeah. All right, people. Be safe out there. We'll see you next week. Peace.